Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is my murder beat. This is a channel where we talk about true crime while doing our makeup.
And today we're going to be talking about the case regarding Gypsy Rose and Dee Dee Blanchard, and specifically from the HBO series or HBO documentary called Mommy
Dead and Dearest.
Mommy Dead and Dearest.
So yeah, we're going to be over that case while doing our makeup on both of our looks. So if you want to see how we get this, then keep on watching. So Gypsy Rose grew up having a lot of medical issues. She had a whole list of things. What was that list?
Oh, let me bring it out. Asthma, epilepsy, hearing impairment, vision impairment, fed with feeding tube, paralyzed from the waist down, mentally challenged, GI reflex, quadriplegia, muscular dystrophy, anemia, allergies,
Hyperventilation?
Did I spell that wrong? Hyperventilation? I think that might be a different thing. Leukemia, incontinence, lung disease, and a heart murmur.
So yeah, so Gypsy had all of those issues. And one of them you said was leukemia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she would always constantly be like in and out of the hospital, visiting doctors. I think at one point she had like over 30 surgeries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had like over 30 surgeries for all these issues.
And over like 100 visits to local hospitals.
Yeah. And so there was just a lot of issues that's going on. And so Dee Dee had, I think, like a GoFundMe account, which, you know, people wanted to help and contribute with.
Mm-hmm.
And then
and this started back in 2009, right? Yeah.
No, this started her whole life. You
well,
mean
like
when she got the home? Oh, yeah. I think that really
I just want
started...
to like highlight when all of the attention, like...
The attention.
Attention, yeah.
Yeah, so then Habitat for Humanity actually gave them a home for free because they were actually victims of Hurricane Katrina. So, you know, they didn't have anywhere to go. And so, yeah, so she had all these issues just kind of since birth. So she was very behind. It sounds like she kind of stopped getting an education, though, at a certain point. Yeah. I don't think Dee Dee really homeschooled her.
Dee Dee said she was 5 years younger than she really actually is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So when Gypsy's about 19, she would tell her she was 14 years old. So then a little bit about Dee Dee's backstory.
So Dee Dee's full name is Claudine Blanchard. And so they moved from, I don't know how to say this, Lafourche Parish, Louisiana to Springfield, Missouri. So that's kind of when the whole Facebook page, they had a conjoined Facebook page, GoFundMe, all the like popularity. Yeah. Kind of started like their attention from the community and their help and everything. We met a guy named Robert? What is that?
Chinese food?
So, is it Rod? No, it's Robert. Robert. I wrote Rod. I don't know why. So
she met Robert.
She met Robert Blanchard. In high school. She got pregnant pretty quick. I mean, I don't know her age, but he was 17 when they got pregnant with Gypsy. From the beginning, when Gypsy was born, Dee Dee was like in charge of her whole like medical experience pretty much, and like all of her conditions, and like right from the beginning said, oh, she has sleep apnea to Robert. And
yeah, I think she was like under like 6 months old too.
Yeah, like right from the beginning. Oh, she has sleep apnea. So that's kind of when it started, and then she had to use a wheelchair, and
I'm using some random Morphe eyeshadows that I've started, and then I'm working out of the Modern Renaissance palette, which I hate this cover. Hate. Do you see? You can see how nasty that is.
But we love the product.
I love it, but I don't know why you would do that.
I'm using the good old Jacqueline.
Dee Dee was cashing checks And then she was also using or opening credit cards in family members' names. And then she was also stealing money from her parents. So she wasn't a good person.
Shoplifting. Right?
Oh yeah, shoplifting. Her nephew in the show said that she was on like America's Most Wanted, and her parents said if she ever stepped in some county, somewhere, obviously not where she's living because she's living there.
I'm like,
but it's probably where she was living in.
Yeah, but not even that, around there too.
Yeah, so she
not
never
just
stepped
where
into
she's
like
living,
this county.
Like around there too. It said like if
they
she
said the police would
stepped
just
in the boundaries,
arrest her.
Yeah. So she was a wild child.
So yeah, so she just didn't have a really good background. I don't think she got along with her family, her siblings, really no one.
And you found out it comes from her mom too. Her mom is like that too.
So I guess her mom also had issues. She was mentally unstable.
Was stealing and everything. So it was kind of passed down, you could tell. You know. Now, Gypsy doesn't even know her real age. And Robert in the documentary wanted to call her on her 18th birthday and wish her a happy 18th birthday. But Dee Dee's psycho ass told him that he couldn't mention that she was 18. And what was the reason again? I always forget that.
I think she blamed it on like her mental capacity.
Yeah.
And that she wouldn't understand or she'd freak out or something.
So, I mean, he obviously wasn't around. Oh yeah, we didn't say they got a divorce.
Oh yeah, they're divorced.
They're divorced. We're thinking it didn't say in the documentary what year.
But it sounded like it was like when she was young.
She was young, yeah. She can't understand that. She thinks she's, what?
14, 15 at whatever. The time.
So, I mean, he just kind of went along with it. Didn't ask questions.
Yeah, that's the upsetting part.
Yeah. A lot of people did not ask questions in this story. A lot of people
didn't do what they did. So, back to Dee Dee taking her to a lot of hospitals and doctor visits. One doctor pointed out that she thought that Gypsy was a victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy.
Dude,
it's Munchausen.
It's a freaking mouthful. Munchausen by proxy syndrome.
It might be Munchausen. That sounds better.
That sounds Munchausen. Right. Munchausen.
And it's a U, so you can't read. Which it's a mental disorder where a parent or other caretaker. Dude,
it passed on to you.
So.
I'm sorry. I'm contagious.
So, this syndrome is a disorder where a parent fabricates or induces illness in a person under their care to obtain sympathy or attention. So, that's what was going on. To find out none of these actual issues or diseases or medical concerns were actually real. But, so a doctor notated that, but never called social services. And I think another doctor said it as well. And
again, let me get my notes. I actually have that doctor. So Dr. Mark Felden in the documentary talks about Munchausen by proxy.
Sounded like you said Momchausen.
Mom what?
Sounded like you said
Momchausen. And he does form out that it is definitely a form of child abuse. Obviously.
Well, obviously, because she had
your child through hell when she doesn't even need to be.
She was taking all these medications for like cancer.
Yeah. And the doctor that you were talking about, the neurologist that put in his medical notes that this was happening was Dr. Bernardo Flasterstein. Every time I say that. And this was in 2007 in his notes. He wrote, "Mother is not a good historian." So this was like recorded. This wasn't like, oh, she was just kind of getting away with it. Nothing was written down. Like, he spotted it, but she kind of realized that he was catching on to her. And like when that would happen with doctors, she would just like
go to another
flee with her. Yeah, she would just flee to another hospital. Just like, bye.
So like depended on...
So nothing happened. So she would always leave and then they'd never figured out. It just was kind of like, oh.
Yeah, so depending on, like, what doctor she was seeing, the issues would change. Like, if she was seeing a hot dog.
A hot dog?
Oh, man. If she was seeing a hot dog doctor.
Is she the hot dog?
Hot dog. And she was a hot dog.
And she was a hot dog.
She was a hot
dog. Oh, it was never, like, brought up to them. The mom just kept running from it and just taking Gypsy to different hospitals. Like, but in the same community, which is crazy. Over 100 in local hospitals. Like, what?
Another backstory thing is Dee Dee was accused of putting Roundup in her stepmom's, like, food and drinks, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, but it's crazy. Like, wouldn't you call the police? I mean, I don't know. I guess it's your kid. I don't know. What do you do when your kid is So after that, Gypsy's probably about, like, 18, 17 at this point. And she actually ran away from home. She, like, was messaging a friend. And she's like, hey, I want to go to, I think it was a, like a sci-fi convention.
Yeah.
So she's like okay, I'll meet you.
Cosplay,
yeah, like a cosplay one, because she was really into that and stuff. So they met, and then she, like, but I think she planned on, like, running away from home. Her friend was like, you can come live with me. Friend's like, you can come live with us. And then Gypsy found her within her mom found her within 4 hours, because I guess she was, like, mutually friends with this family. Brought her home. Gypsy said that she tied her to a bed with a dog leash.
And handcuffs.
I
just went to spray this.
And she smashed her laptop and her cell phone. Because Dee Dee probably didn't know she was, like, on the internet and stuff.
Or maybe she did. That's why she did that. Because how else would she...
Well, I'm saying before, so that's probably why she did it.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like,
Because she's like, oh, obviously you're meeting people online.
Yeah.
Because how else would she meet people?
Yeah. So she smashed everything. Gypsy said that she would hit her with a coat hanger.
No, tell him what she said about the hammer.
Oh, so when she came back and she, smashed everything, she said... Because she smashed all her stuff with a hammer, and she told Gypsy, if you ever do that again, I will smash your hands with this hammer.
Yeah.
So just not a really healthy, good environment.
Not that great.
Which is crazy, because, like, if you watch it, there's so many home... Yeah, there's so many home videos.
Yeah, that look like she's such a good mom.
And, like, they're so close and all this stuff. And, like, I'm sure they were close in a sense. But, obviously not that close, because I don't feel like I don't know.
Well, it's just insane how it shows, like, people can be so different than they truly are.
Like, you really don't know.
Like, the whole community on Facebook, like, thinks she's
just like, all behind
this great
her.
mom. Like, oh, look at her filming her, home movies and everything, and...
In reality, she's, like, kind of abusive.
In reality,
I mean, obviously super
insane.
Manipulative and stuff.
Yeah, very manipulative.
I mean, Dee Dee had everyone fooled.
Well, and she had to have Gypsy. Yeah, she had to have everyone fooled. She had to have Gypsy pretty much put on the show, for everyone. Oh, the hand squeeze thing.
Yeah, so anytime they did an interview, anytime they were at a doctor's office, Dee Dee would just, like, hold her hand and just squeeze it, because she would want her to, like, well, obviously not give anything away. So...
Well, no, Gypsy would start saying something, and then she was like, if my mom squeezed my hand really tight, I wasn't supposed to say that. I knew to just shut up. I knew to just keep my mouth shut.
It's crazy.
So it's like she probably went, like, she would probably start to say, like, oh, when I was walking the other day or something. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, because supposedly she couldn't walk. And that was another thing doctors notated, was that if Gypsy really had muscular dystrophy, she wouldn't have, like, really any muscle mass.
Mm-hmm.
But she did. And it was just slightly lower than, like, the average person.
Mm-hmm. But nothing crazy. Like, if you weren't walking, it was 15 years, right? 15 years, supposedly, she wasn't walking. If you weren't walking for that long, you would just have bone. Like,
yeah. So
you would have no muscle.
But like, how does the doctor?
All of these things are just in the medical records.
I feel like so many people let her down.
Yeah.
A little bit later after that, she starts. She gets on this online Christian dating site.
Yeah.
And she meets this guy named Nicholas. And they start a relationship. They start just kind of talking every day, and it just sounds like they kind of just madly fell in love really fast.
Her first love, she's never really, like...
She's never, like, probably ever talked to a boy.
Probably, yeah.
Like, ever.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So, I mean, yeah, that's super exciting. Like, if you remember the first boy you ever had a crush on, like,
well, I mean...
You're head over heels, over the moon.
And her interactions were just so different compared to, like, someone growing...
So, yeah, they start this online relationship, head over heels. You know, and of course, as they start talking, more things get brought up, and you find out Nicholas's background a little bit. He admits that he has a split personality. He said there's about 15 personalities. Mm-hmm. And he told Gypsy that he would like all his personalities to have a girlfriend. So, yay! Yeah! So that's wonderful.
When she was, like, down, she was like, okay.
Yeah, she's like, I thought it was weird, but...
Yeah.
You know, she just had no idea.
Yeah.
So she starts, like, dressing up in these characters he likes.
For each different personality, yeah. So she becomes a character for each different personality.
Yeah. And since she had leukemia, her mom would shave her head all the time, so she had all these different wigs. So she would dress up with her wigs. She would take all these, like, scandalous little photos and stuff, and then one day he said he like tells her he's really into BDSM, which kind of comes into this character play. And again, she's like, "Oh, I thought that was weird," but
she was more hesitant. I feel like with that one, she was like, at first I was like, I didn't want to do it, and then he kind of talked her into it.
Yeah. So that
they started doing that
happening.
kind of stuff.
I don't know. It's just crazy. So yeah, he would just tell her like all his kind of dark fantasies and stuff. You find out he's super into porn. He got caught looking at porn in a McDonald's one time, which is and then to find out he's actually autistic and has Asperger's. So I think he's about around her age, like 19, but he actually will always be around 15 or 16. Gypsy finally tells Nicholas that she, you know, has a really bad relationship with her mom, and he basically says, "Oh, I'll protect you from anyone." She goes, "Even my mom?" And she's like, "Yeah." And so basically somehow murdering her mother got brought up.
Oh yeah, just texting casually.
Yeah, I just want to know how that gets brought up. Like, how do you say, "Hey, let's murder my mom"?
I feel like, well, it kind of seems like she's been sitting on it a little bit, because it's like, yeah, why are you just gonna bring that up? Like, would you protect me? Like,
yeah, even from my mom.
From anything.
It's
so
like,
it's kind of like that was probably like thought about maybe on her end a little bit.
Yeah,
obviously.
I feel like it had to be. That's just not,
because she's just
a
living
thought
in,
that
living
you just
in
have
hell.
one day and bring it up.
Yeah, she's just freaking living in hell.
So they come up with this plan and they call it Plan B. And then I think she just got in an argument with her mom one day, and she texted him and basically asked him if they could murder her. So he basically comes out there, because he doesn't live like where they are, so he had to take a bus. Comes out there. She texts him saying, "Hey, I'm gonna leave duct tape and gloves for you outside. When you come in, make sure that you shut the door quietly." So that happens.
And she plans on hiding in the bathroom.
Yes. And then she basically sits in the bathroom in like fetal position, covering her ears. And she also gave him a knife. And he goes in while Dee Dee is sleeping. And he stabs her several times. I don't know how many. But
it seemed like a lot. I mean, they showed pictures.
Yeah, there's like pictures and stuff.
It was pretty gruesome, yeah.
It's
really
super sad. So then after that, they leave.
Go to a hotel.
And they ended up stealing like $5,000 from Dee Dee. So they steal this money, they go to a motel, and they like record them the next day, and they're like
happy
and laughing. And I'm just like,
almost like relieved, which is really, it's really dark.
Like, I get you're in a bad situation, but
it's a weird thing.
Yeah. So then they go to Nick's mom and stepdad's house, and he's like, oh, we can live with them. And they basically said okay. They thought it was weird that they kind of just showed up but didn't really say anything else. And then
yeah, the mom thought that Gypsy was a little strange coming off the bus and stuff, but I mean,
she didn't really know her, so she didn't know any
it was
different.
just kind of like, hey, we're coming, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we need to come live with you, so it's a little, you know.
So then, basically the police catches them a few days later because a neighbor calls and asks them to do a wellness check because they haven't seen Dee Dee or Gypsy in a while. Go in, find out what happened. They link it. They don't know where Gypsy is, so they try to find her. They somehow find out that her and Nicholas did it. So they bring her in for questioning, and then when they brought her in, they're like, your mother's dead. And she like acted like she had no idea. Like she's like, what? And
she put on a show.
Crying.
She put on a show for sure. I mean, you would have to, I guess.
Yeah, and the police officer's like, sweetie, I need to talk to you. Basically, Nicholas, like, legitly tells him everything.
Yeah,
like,
so at first Gypsy's like, he asked if she was involved, and she's like, no, I was not involved. I didn't even know she's dead, all this stuff, and it's kind of funny, yeah, because the second Nicholas comes in, he's like, yeah, I killed her. Pretty much didn't even,
he's like, yeah, this is what we did.
This is what we did, yeah.
She texted me, and...
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Confessed.
Okay.
And there's text, so obviously.
Yeah, and then there was all these texts. So basically, you know, they arrest them, and then their case goes to trial. So,
when Gypsy was taken in for questioning, it was on June 16th, 2015. That's when both Gypsy and Nicholas were taken in for questioning. 2 days prior, on June 14th, oh, yeah, the posts. I forgot about the Facebook posts. So, 2 days prior on June 14th, 2015,
this is another reason why the police went to do it.
This was more evidence other than the text. Yeah, and that reason is on Gypsy and Dee Dee's Facebook, there was a really, really dark post. I mean, should we just insert it or should we say it?
Yeah, we'll insert it right here.
Yeah.
She basically says she's dead.
Basically said, like, her mom's dead, and everyone thought it was a joke. Or not a joke, but, like, people were like, what's going on? Are you guys hacked? Oh, yeah, thought somebody hacked them. And so then that's when, like, the wellness check happened and everything. And then that night is when Dee Dee was found dead in her house, or stabbed to death in her house. Yeah. So then June 16th, taken in for questioning. July 24th was when the prosecutor brought in the text evidence, which Gypsy
had no idea that they could recover that.
No idea, yeah.
Gypsy legitly looked back at her stepmom and dad,
to give you an idea of how naive, kind of reserved she was.
And naive and just not aware. They brought up the text messages, and she looked back like, shit.
Like, what's going on?
Because I think the dad believed her this whole time that, like, she had nothing to do with it, and they just felt kind of lied to.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And so, Gypsy ends up getting 10 years. And I think that's mostly because they realized her condition, and, you know, she was really just deprived and grown up in this really abusive household, and no one kind of had any idea. And then Nicholas got life in prison.
Because he actually committed it.
They charged her with life in prison, but then they did a surprise pretrial. So they actually ended up sentencing her to 10 years in prison, and then eligible for parole after that. And that was on November 9th. And then Nicholas got life in prison. And then a little update on Nick, actually, currently. He had... he was set for trial in November 2018, and his, lawyers said he wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for Gypsy, and then the other side was saying, you know, like, no, he was definitely very part of it. Gypsy actually testified on the third day of his trial, which I think is crazy. I just want to know how that, like, went down. And she testified, she definitely indeed that he did kill her mom. And then I guess she also considered getting pregnant by him, hoping that Dee Dee would, like, accept him and love him. And she ended up, like, stealing baby clothes from Walmart and stuff. And so she's ready for, like, another plan.
Information, right?
Yeah. She admitted this during the 2018 trial. So then in February 2019, he was sentenced to life in prison for the murder conviction. Gypsy is going to be eligible for parole in 2024, and she'll be about 32 years old. And yeah, that's the Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Dee Dee case.
Dee Dee story. Insane.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching. If you like our looks, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions on any kind of true crime cases we should cover, please leave them in the comments below, and we'll be posting once a week. So thanks for stopping by.
Cheers, love ya.
This is full of freaking dry shampoo.
Oh, like it looks like I have dandruff, but it's dry shampoo. You know, like the flakes.
Yes. Just lo mein and rice.
Why are you holding out on me, bro?
Sorry. It's me, and I'm just technologically. I don't know.
Technically. Where'd you get that food from?
There's this Chinese place, like, over there. A little ways.
Over there? Oh my god, don't put this in, but I smell. And
I got Chinese food in my makeup palette.